Hello. Am I on? That should be good. I come online and the cat immediately starts singing. That feels like a good sign. Hello, he says. Good morning. This is a pretty solid camera spot. So, good morning. I'm a little bit sleepy. We'll do our best. Buen dia, Ohio. Guten Morgen. I suppose it's not morning for everybody. Good evening. Good afternoon. How's tricks? How's things? We got our handy dandy chart today. I did not have time to finish the little Lynn painting, but that will happen. I don't want to today, so we will do that maybe this week. Give me just a moment. I'm going to open the door for the cat. Okay. There will be some outside noise, but it is worth it for the little boy. Okay, hello. Yeah, so the Little Lynn painting did not get finished this week, but I will finish it. Well, last week, but I will finish it this week, maybe. We'll see if I'm lucky, but I didn't want to work on it today, so we're gonna just, I don't know, I don't have anything in particular to work on this week, so I just grabbed my little sketch them, and we can do something fun. I'll wait and see if we get 1 or 2 people to come in. I know our usuals will be in eventually today, or I assume. So we'll wait a little bit, but I will say this week, way quieter than it has been lately. So that's nice. Very, very wet, very sobby, possibly. Maybe not. Big on the emotions, though. Hi, Nick. There's one person. How's your day been? Or did you just wake up? How's your weekend been? There you go. That's a better question. I've noticed with our Europeans, they tend to just be waking up as we come online, which is not, how am I trying to use the words? It's not a bad thing. It's just when I go, how's your day been? They never know what to say. Like, I don't know. I just woke up. As I was saying, though, this is like the post big shift processing week is what it is looking like in the stars. I guess that's how I will word it. This is for today. And we'll mark how things change as they change. So, I'll give it another couple of minutes. I guess we can just talk about things. What should we talk about, Lady Lo-Fi? What are we feeling? Miss May? Yeah.
I was not prepared.
Good morning. That's alright. It's finally a beautiful day today. As for me, I've decided to detach from church. So I feel great. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times those kinds of communities can feel really insular. And it gets frustrating to try to break into a clique, especially since I know you're not just blindly trying to convert your questioning and stuff too, right? So yeah. Yeah. The hush whispers are an experience, certainly. So yeah, I was saying this week is feeling like the decompress and emotionally process week after the shenanigans that we had all last week, because that was the big conjunction and the Lunar New Year and Mardi Gras and Carnival and the start of Ramadan and so there's a lot of big firsts and a lot of letting go and a lot of discipline and stuff that were required. Still are. I mean, like Ramadan's a month long, I think. But and then Lent takes a while. But this week feels like the week to process. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not feeling quite as animated as I usually do. But I've been told several times that honestly, like, the chill vibes with the stars is way better than a lot of like the really overactive, in your face, this is what's happening kind of delivery that they give. Like I've had a friend point blank say, no, I think we need more of your vibe in the astrology community. So I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Speaking. You cannot approach God with it. Well, how can you get to know God if... Okay. I don't know, man. Me and organized religion. But... especially in that just like... yeah. So there's me. I see you live your life in fear and you wish to spend... Right. Exactly. Like, I don't know. So much got clarified to me when I like did research on like I follow some folks who like are ex-evangelical Christians and stuff. And so much got cleared up with me when I realized and learned that the Christian God is based off of like one of a polytheism, and he was the god of war. And just having that kind of framework, like huge fan, having grown up with the teachings of Christ as just like general be a good person kind of things. But like once I learned that the Christian God originates like historically from a god of war, the whole fear thing made so much more sense to me. Constantly. But the psychological damage has already been done, and I'm always constantly afraid now. But that said, it did help me ease up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like, so many people see passive aggression as the polite way to do things. I'm like, it's really not. Really not. But okay. There's a whole chat in the United States and people from it about East Coast kind versus West Coast nice, where the West Coast nice is much more passive aggressive and less helpful than the East Coast nice or kind, which is very loud and abrasive, but they will do the right thing. So, yeah, I feel that. Tried to turn it into a shaming ritual. Oh, yeah. Tell me about that aura. What was that? This is fun. We can just have a church chat before Astro chat. Yeah, if you're interested in going down that rabbit hole, I would recommend looking up the origins of said Christian god. But as I understand it now, the people who really got the ball rolling on Christianity, like historically a long time ago, would not really recognize Christianity as it is today. The Christian god has, as I understand it, been humanized way too much, turned way too into a human, whereas before there's a lot of divine and everything, and now it's just like people are the only divine thing ever, something. It's like, no. Oh, sorry. There's something about having that perspective, as I understand it, that just kind of like makes destroying the environment and hurting things around you just that much easier, like from like a superiority complex kind of perspective, which makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah. What, like, was this? So, okay. I'm sure you guys have different denominations of church too. I can't imagine that this was like Anglican or anything like that, was it? Like, what denomination was this? This is insane. Because what you're talking about sounds like some Southern Baptist crazy. And it sounded like that the whole time, and I've just been like, you're in the UK though, and I'm sure that they have that over there, but it's just wild to me. I've been wondering about that. Sorry it ended poorly though, that's a bummer. The last couple of notes in, and I guess we can get rolling. If it's just me and you, that's fine. Got Miss May behind me. Don't know, I think it's church. I think evangelical, at least Protestant. It's protest and Protestant. Yeah, it sounds really evangelical. Some kind of evangelical branch. It does not sound like anything that would be even remotely Anglican or Episcopalian or anything like that. If you want to have more open-minded folks, if I did go back to a church, it would probably be something like Episcopalian. It's like all of the garb of Catholicism, but way, way more forward-thinking and understanding. And I always really appreciated it for that. Evangelicals are very, very hard to break into, be just the vibes so bad. So yeah, vibe with me. All right, let's see. So I was saying at the beginning, we have a bit of a quiet week this week. Well, not quiet, like we've got Mercury going into retrograde, we've got a whole lot of little things happening, but they're all like genuinely kind of nice and pleasant. Like this lovely little trine here that we have going between Venus and Jupiter. They're both benefic planets. Jupiter is in retrograde, but retrograde Jupiter isn't too terribly bad. They're just kind of vibing right now. And this is like opening, like just good communication, good relationships, good feelings, good abundance, good things like that. I was looking at it and making my notes, and I said that it looks like what Valentine's Day should have been. So I'm calling these next few days like Valentine's makeup days. A lot of people confuse religion with faith. I wanted to help the community be part of it, to help people Yeah. Sometimes they don't want your help, though, and it's better to go find the place. They're all, like, on the left. Yes, they have been for a while. This will stay this way for probably about the first half of the year. We had in December this big stellium up in Capricorn up here. So this, when, like, there are a bunch of major planets in one sign, right? So this is Pisces. We have the Sun, we have Mercury, we have Venus. Earlier we had Neptune and Saturn. When there are 3 or more major planets in one sign, that is called a stellium. And it's been doing, with just the way the planets move and stuff, we've been having stelliums basically since November-ish, if I'm remembering correctly. It could have been going on for longer, but just the way the things, the different rates that everybody moves. Sometimes we're all stacked to one side, or sometimes it looks like, Miss May's chart looks like a pleasant walk through the park where you have people at reasonable distances and they're like walking in pairs. It's very funny. So yeah, we're gonna have these stelliums happening for a while longer yet. The big one to watch out for right now, I'm kind of looking at this as like Aquarius has been very intellectual. Capricorn was very stable and grounding. Aquarius was intellectual, realizing like the logic behind things, kind of like tearing up the old system, out with the old and with the new. And now this Pisces stellium is kind of like, let's like emotionally process what the heck just happened up here so that we can be ready to step forward when things start sliding into Aries, right? So Pisces is the very end of the zodiac, the 12th house, which is like the spiritual side of things, the emotional side of things, the giving way, the endings into the beginnings, right? So we have all of these things stacked up in the endings. We've had all of these things in the last few months kind of pushing us towards these endings, and now is kind of like the emotional conclusion of everything, right? Before we can step into Aries, which is the start of the new astrological year. We've had the solar new year, we've had the lunar new year now, and then now when Aries season starts is the astrological new year. Right now we are letting go of these last dregs. We are processing the emotions that we need to process after shedding all of this stuff with whatever it is about the wood snake and everything before we can step into the new roles that we're supposed to be taking, right? So that's kind of how that is, and as the year progresses, the planets that move faster will obviously pull ahead, and then it will stop being so stacked to one side, right? But right now, we just started Pisces season, which we didn't talk about that much last week because we had that big conjunction down here that we were worrying about, which has happened. It's done. Yeah. 2026 is insane, dude. Oh my gosh. So the first big one was the Lunar New Year that happened on last Tuesday. Yeah, it was last Tuesday. And then, well, no, that wasn't even the first thing, right? Like, well, was it? Let me look. That was like the thing to wait for, right? It was like, we had this new moon in January in Capricorn, and that was like your last call before these guys slid into fire signs. We have, this is Neptune and Saturn. They're in fire signs. Saturn will be here until 2028. Neptune will be here until I don't remember, 2030 something. But they just had this really big conjunction on Friday. We had the Lunar New Year on Tuesday. Like, this last week was pretty crazy. Earlier this year, we had all of the major personal planets. So we had the Sun, we had Mercury, we had Venus and Mars. They all went over Pluto, who is like the, when we slid from Capricorn season into Aquarius season, he's the, basically the Phoenix. Kind of like Pluto is, in mythology, is Hades. He is wealth. He is also death, right? So there's been a lot of like foundational shaking when all of these planets crossed over Pluto and went conjunct. And that was in, when was that? No, you were showing when you're stumbling. This is going to be your Gemini stuff. Yeah. Good afternoon, Sen. Yeah. I can still hope though, damn it. Like, I can still hope. Like, I've been having a lot of things happening lately that I don't know where it's leading, but I'm feeling like I'm just getting the bigger pieces on, like, a puzzle that I just can't quite see the picture of yet. What was your opinion on AI Atlas, by the way? Because I feel like that was the starting point for me. Random asteroid no one can recognize. When was that? Send me something on it and I can look at it for you. I'm not sure I know quite what we're talking about. But, yeah. I don't know how things are going for you, Son, my fellow Gemini rising, but I've had, like, a bunch of things that feel like they're fated, but I can't see the forest for the trees yet, and it's running me crazy. So, like, this right now, we're talking about how everything in Capricorn was kind of like the last grounding point before we took the dive. Aquarius ripped everything up with all of the conjunctions going over 3-1 Atlas, maybe. I'll look it up. Asteroid. Oh yeah, there we go. I got the Wikipedia now. It was December 20th. Yeah, I don't know. That could be something. I'll look at it. Not missing the one last puzzle piece. God, I hope not. I really hope not, because it is a mess. I just feel like I keep getting these puzzle pieces, and I'm like, cool. What image is it? Maybe if I get enough of the puzzle pieces to figure out what it is, I can just kind of like fill it in myself. I don't know. Random Gemini and the Fool's Journey with Aries. Less trust falls and more sweet, pretty unknown, want to explore. Well, the problem with that, my dear darling, is that Geminis, and that's my rising sign, that's Sun's rising sign. Mercurial ruled, we like logic, and we like things to make sense, and we like to have next steps, and plans A through Z, and so, trust falls? Never heard of her. Never heard of her. Awful. Horrible. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. So I've been... Yeah, we talked about it last week. Like, I finally had time to, like, really sit down and process some things I'd been needing to process, and I just kind of, like, broke on Valentine's Day out of all of the days. So, anyway, I'm kind of looking at this right now, like, this little stellium happening in Aquarium. This little stellium happening in Pisces. Get it? Because Aquarius and Pisces, the fish needs water, so the fish needs an aquarium. Yeah. Yeah, we're going with it. Mercury's about to go retrograde, whatever. Anyway, we've had this was like our ledge to jump from. Aquarius introduced a lot of changes. There was a lot of upheaval. Now is our time to process. Right? To emotionally process what the heck just happened before we start stepping into the new zodiac, the new piece, the I know where I'm going, but I don't know where it leads kind of feeling, right? Like, if we have our feelings in order, if we know what we need, what we don't need, what we need to let go of, what we need to reach for, we can start walking forward again. Yeah. I mean, like, you are completely right, Nick. Like, I'm not arguing with you. But that doesn't stop me from being neurotic. Like, I'm trying to learn to let go, but it is a long and tedious process. So, emotional processing. Right now, for the next couple of days, we'll talk about Pisces season in a second, but right now, for the next couple of days, we have Mars sextiling Chiron. I forgot to look into what that meant, but Mars is the god of war and ambition and drive and power. We have him in Aquarius, so like doing what's right, doing the best thing for the community, technological upheaval, things of that nature. Chiron is the wounded healer. He has his little, he has his insecurities, but he's good at what he does. This is feeling without having like double checked or anything, because I like to double check things. Like, learn where you can contribute to the broader community, find your role in the community. We were talking about that, I think, a little bit last week with this conjunction here of like, it's not individualistic exactly. Like, this is not an individualistic era. We're heading towards or in the age of Aquarius. I can't remember. Very collective, very, everybody's in this together, but everybody has their own strengths and their own weaknesses, right? So how can you be that helps best the collective, right? And that's kind of what this is feeling to me at first glance. But today we also have this lovely little trine here, and for the next couple of days we have Venus and Jupiter trine, sextile. The thicker lines means that the connection is stronger. Square, trine. The thinner lines means they're further apart. And the little random dotted line here, if you can even see it, is like barely there. Anyway, so we have Venus trining Jupiter for the next couple of days right here, because she's going to be kind of moving a little bit slow. Like I said, this feels like makeup Valentine's Day. It's good for harmony, it's good for creativity, it's good for relationships. One of my little notes said it's giving kind of a follow your bliss vibe. And I also wanted to ask how that art search was going. Have you found anything that makes you feel anything yet? Funny, I am trying to learn structure, and I'm like, yes, this doesn't work. Well, see, the thing is, everything is a house of cards, right? And when one card falls, all of them fall. So the trick is you glue all the cards together. And by that, I mean you have plans A through X, Y, Z. And then if one doesn't work, then you just fall back on the other one, right? So that's the trick. Now, does it work on a day-to-day basis? Most of the time. But when something big happens and you need to accommodate, it gets a little bit touch and go. And I'm in the touch and go phase right now. Anyway, so with this trine happening, there's a big up in love, generosity, and optimism. It's good for a few days of romance, creativity, things like that. One of the things that I was reading had this lovely little note here. It says, if your heart is ready, speak love. If your spirit is tired, rest in beauty. If opportunity appears, meet it with gratitude. And said, abundance is not only what you gain, but it is also what you are willing to share. And let kindness move through you like sunlight touching water. And that seems like a pretty good summary of these next few days with this, at least. Hi, welcome in. Good to see you. We're talking about stars. We're having some astrology chat. We're having a coffee because it is 10:30 where I am. Once we get done talking about stars, we'll do a little bit of art and hang out. So feel free to hang out. If you'd like tarot, that will be Monday evening, so tomorrow evening. Good to see you, though. How's it going? Let's see. So, how do we want to tackle this? Because I have a big write-up on Pisces season as a whole, guys, but I also have just this general week like I usually do. So do you want to start with Pisces season since it technically started a few days ago? Or do you want to start with the week and then get down to the bigger picture of Pisces season? What are we feeling? How do we want to tackle this? Thoughts, opinions, vibes? Yes, coffee. It's 8:30 here. Yep. Good call. So, this lovely trine. How are we feeling? Talk about the month overview and then get into the weeds, or do you want to start in the weeds and work your way out? I'll have a sip of coffee while you stew on it. Once, twice. Start with what feels better. That's the cop-out answer, Sen. Fine. Okay, so Pisces season. We'll just do this. The sun is in Pisces. When the sun is Pisces, this is Pisces season. Right? When the sun is in a house. Oh, when the sun is in a house, it is that season, right? We know that. Asking me on how to structure Kitty Foundation first, make sure everything has. I'll be into the end anyway. Okay, so I would guess Pisces season feels like a foundation. So we're gonna roll with that. Cool. Pisces season this year is from February 18th until March 20th. Needs a positive day. Yeah, we are in a bit of a nice quiet processing. I don't know when you got in, Debbie, but I was saying that I'm seeing this kind of Pisces season is like with the stellium happening here as time to just kind of sit down and process what the heck has just been happening. We had a stellium in Capricorn that felt like they were like, you know, when you have to jump really, really high, or like when a kid's jumping really high and they'll like bend down and they'll like really ground themselves before they leap. That's kind of what like Capricorn season felt like. You were like gearing up for the jump. Aquarius was the jump. We had all of the major personal planets going over in conjunct Pluto, which is kind of like a tearing down the foundations to rebuild things. And we've seen a lot of stuff going on in the news that's kind of like just Aquarius, as I affectionately call him, like the social justice warrior of the zodiac, right? We've seen a lot of things coming to light. It's been really stressful. None of us have really had much time to process, and I feel like now, and then we had last week, I guess, this conjunction happening here with Saturn and Neptune that everybody's been looking for. Big changes. Last week was the conjunction. Last week was the Lunar New Year. Last week was that solar eclipse. Like, so now it's like the time to sit here, and now we're also still like smack in the middle of eclipse season, right? Because the next eclipse is the lunar eclipse on the 3rd. So right now we're just kind of like in this ethereal bubble where we're trying to figure out, like, we're just having to float, right? We're having to sit here and float, and there's not really any like clear next steps forward. We're just kind of sitting here and processing. Yeah, exactly. Aries season is after Pisces season. So Pisces is like the letting go, it's the processing, it's the endings that are leading to new beginnings. That's Aries. So Aries is the start of the zodiac. He's the big leader. He jumps forward, and Pisces is about surrendering to the end so that you can open the door for more beginning, right? So right now, it's the dissolution of like illusions. It is like the dream state. It is Pisces is Neptune ruled. So there's like a dissolution of boundaries. It's a feel your feelings kind of thing, and it's a tie up your loose ends that are attached to the things that you are letting go of. It's letting go, it's processing, and getting ready for the next best thing. So grounding, the jump, now we're in the processing, and then Aries is like we hit the ground and we have to start walking, basically, right? So this is like our little window of breathing and processing what's been going on and figuring out what we're trying to do. I don't know about all of y'all, but like I was saying earlier, it's like I'm getting a bunch of pieces of the puzzle, and I don't know what the picture is yet, but I have to put the puzzle together. That's what the last few weeks have been feeling like for me, right? Especially like wherever Pisces is in your chart, you'll be kind of feeling this kind of a thing, and it has been hitting my 10th house very, very hard. So Sun will be in Pisces until March 20th. In this time, most of this time, Mercury will be retrograde. So that's not inherently a bad thing, but Mercury isn't particularly happy in Pisces. Mercury values things like logic and clear communication and directness and things of that nature. And then Pisces is just like, I don't know, man, just feel it. So Mercury and Pisces is a little more poetic. It's a little less articulate. It's a little dreamier. Like, it's good for creativity, but it's bad if you want to sign a contract kind of vibes. And then retrograde is already that feeling anyway, so we're just kind of getting double that vibe from Thursday, I believe, until March, the end of March. Stay calm, so this is brand new cycle. yeah, that's really what it is, right? So, what is it that I said? With Aquarius moving into Pisces, we've had going out of Pisces, pretty natural. We've had a big rush in advances, just suddenly being kind of like thrown into a bit of a liminal space and kind of just floating. And this is like our time to go, hang on, wait a minute, what just happened? And then after you answer what just happened, it's like, okay, what do I need to do next with Aries? So we have the Mercury retrograde coming up. Plus there's a lunar eclipse. There's a lunar eclipse on March 3rd. That will be the second half of the eclipse season, and then once we get past that lunation, we will be done, like that full lunation. So after we have the eclipse, we go through one more moon cycle, and then we're out of eclipse season. But while we're in eclipse season, things feel extremely hazy, right? Because what they're asking you to do is like sit back and just process and like take in information, and don't try to piece it all together yet, but do try to piece it, but like, you are asked to respond to the universe. You are not asked inherently to like try to make something happen, right? You are asked to be given things and absorb information, not necessarily to try to create things right away. Hi, welcome in. We are talking about the stars today. There is no list right now, Anita. We will have tarot on Monday, so tomorrow. We'll have an art stream and a tarot stream. So come back on Monday. The tarot stream is at, I believe, 6 Eastern time in the US. So find that, and then certainly come back and ask your question. But you're also welcome to just sit here and talk about the stars this week with us too, if you'd like. You can ask me questions about the stars, but I can't. I'm not the tarot person. Anyway, this is kind of like the sitting here and processing what the heck just happened kind of thing. The Mercury retrograde, the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse happened the day before the Pisces season started, and that just like upheaved, right? So, hi Anita, come back on Monday for that. I don't have the tarot decks that Miss May does. So, if you're looking for feelings, I would say the stars are very good to talk to the person about your feelings and his feelings. We have Jupiter and Venus in a trine, and they are both very good with matters of love. And they are in water signs, so it is good to talk about feelings. So give it a shot. Stars say go for it. Otherwise, tarot says wait until tomorrow evening. But I would say stars say go for it and have a chat. Love the punk axis in all the same direction. I decided that. My favorite planet, not named Gaia or Free Tarot. Yep, there we go. Sin's got you. And we have it on Friday too, a little bit later. My favorite, I'm a little Mercury kid. I like Mercury a lot. I'm like, my sun sign is Mercury ruled, my rising sign is Mercury ruled. He makes a lot of aspects to me. So I find that like focusing on that kind of thing, especially just like Hermes and Mercury as a god, like really vibes with me. It's just a goofy little jack of all trades. So I really like Mercury for that. I also like look at Venus a bit. Not as much. And I have a passing interest in Saturn, but Saturn's kind of the trendy one right now. It's just for like structure and discipline. Mercury's definitely my favorite. I have a lot of aspects to Black Moon Lilith up here too on my chart. And that's not an actual planet, that's just a point calculated in the sky at any given moment. But it's still an interesting thing. I did a big workshop on her recently. So, final answer, Nick, Mercury. A dead planet that we still respect. I think that's really cool. I also love how like fast he moves around the sun, but how slowly he turns. I think that's really neat too. Okay, so all of this, Mercury retrograde, Pisces season. Neptune is in Aries, but like has fallen a little bit behind. Imagine Mercury constantly screaming, warped by gravity, getting blessed. I think I'm too close. Now, do you think he looks at it like that, or does he look at it like a roller coaster? Because I just think he sees it as a roller coaster and he's like, heck yeah, let's go. So that's how, like in the mythology, he has winged shoes. Are you saying he doesn't like being pulled around and thrown around? Because I think this boy would love a roller coaster. So like if there is ADHD in the chart, it is good old Mercury. And them ADHDs is thrill seekers. So fair perspective also, yeah. So, cool. So this is emotional processing. We have the solar eclipse. This is all throughout eclipse season. We've got Mercury retrograde. Things are cloudy. Neptune is calling on us to trust. This is the last bit of the lunar nodes being in Virgo and Pisces. They will keep going back and eventually be in Leo and Taurus between now and the next eclipse season. So this is like the final, like, tying off the loose ends of whatever these have been affecting in your chart for the last, I want to say, 2 years and some change. With the solar eclipse, it was right here at the end of Aquarius, so it was affecting a little bit of Pisces. The lunar eclipse will be in Virgo. That will be calling on us to like really review and let go of the things that we may have been like overgiving in, like service-oriented things. Have we been confusing busyness for service? Where have we been overanalyzing? What kind of things do we need to let go of to progress over onto this side, right? Now, South Node kind of gets a bad rap to me. It's all about letting go and stuff, but also there are tools in here that you can leverage, right? Like, it's not all about exclusively letting go. It's about identifying which parts of whatever the South Node is affecting you, right? Which parts need to be let go, which parts need to be reviewed. So, for example, like, maybe you don't need a spreadsheet for every single thing, but one spreadsheet for a budget could help, right? Like, if you had a spreadsheet for this, that, and the other, like, you don't need all of that, but, like, one thing, like, focus on what you need versus what you have. Like, or if you, you know, like, don't give if you don't have. Like, don't give what you don't have. Don't be a giving tree. Don't overgive. Don't be too busy to not give yourself time to rest. Right now we need to process, and you can still do plenty of good, and you can still leverage some of the Virgo aspects even though the South Node is in here. You just have to pay attention to where you may be overgetting. Attachment is suffering. Identify with nothing. Have you had to have looked into Buddhism, right? So give but don't overgive. Analyze, but don't overanalyze. We are learning to see, we are finding the forest, we can't focus on the trees, right? So, this is the last eclipse season right now, where these two will be in these signs. They will shift over to Leo and Aquarius. For the mutables, things should start getting a lot lighter. Like, they've been lightening up a little bit, as I understand it, I hope. It doesn't feel like it right now. But arguably, it's all signs are pointing to, again, you don't see the picture yet, but it is working towards something. We have lunar nodes, before, so this is like, so they've been in here for about a couple of years now, the lunar, north and south nodes. It's kind of, but this is the last eclipse season, so again, this is like Neptune and Saturn earlier, like we're tying off the loose ends of whatever has been being affected by this, right? Culmination, retrograde layer of confusion, or if we're being whimsical, you can call the Mercury retrograde and all of the confusion, just call it poetry. It's just poetry. Wrapping up, North Node still being a Pisces now, it's asking for trust. There's a lot of this. Virgo is not particularly trusting. North Node up here, we need to trust. We don't need to micromanage, right? Like, managing is fine, but when does it go too far? That is what South Node in Virgo is asking, right? With all of this kind of confusion, there's a lot of growing, but there's also a lot of potential for some BS and extra, just inarticulate confusion, bewilderment. What the heck is going on here? I'm feeling all of these feelings, but I don't know what to do with them. Or I do know what to do with them, and I just don't want to deal with them right now. Pisces likes whimsy. And I told y'all earlier to go look at art and be whimsical. And then one of my accounts that I follow literally said seriousness is a choice. So let's keep it whimsical. Let's have fun. Let's, even if we have to force it at some points, right? Like, things might get overwhelming, but that's kind of, it's Pisces season. Pisces is about the imagination. He's about art, creativity, like all things Neptune ruled. And we have all of these personal planets in here. Like, so let's I feel like it's important to try to keep it light, right? Otherwise, there's a lot of potential to get kind of bogged down with feelings that aren't great. So, leverage this trine, leverage the season, feel your feelings. We have a bunch of things going and getting dragged up that we need to process. Mercury retrograde is going to give us the time to do that, right? So, let's see, what did I say? Yeah, so we're at the end of the, don't do homework, do share tunes on your Discord. Look, if it speaks to you, that's fine. But my homework, dude, though, was look at art. That's a fun homework. Look at art or find art. It could be music, that's fine. Whatever works for you. Art is everything. So just find something that speaks to you. Did kind of smoke a random plant with Buddha and meditation. Calm down, likes with me. It just seems like your kind of vibes as far as the Buddhism goes. So we're at the end of the zodiac right after everything has shifted into Neptune, or into Aries. Neptune and Saturn have shifted into Aries right after the sun went into Pisces. So this is a lot of like letting go and getting ready to move on, like we were talking about. We've had a lot of like little epiphanies happening with everything going over in Aquarius, and now these two major factors are shifting into Aries. Everything will be shifting into Aries. We kind of know where we're going. We need to feel it out. Whatever, we're getting ready to take a step forward, so we're processing and understanding what we need to let go of, right? What needs to go. We've had our final wood snake shed, right? And now we're just like grieving the process, right? As it would be if we're just like kind of trying to tie all of this together. And remember, a horse has to remember when to apply itself. You can't just run blindly. So we have to make our little plan throughout Pisces season. We have to process. We have to find our words and our limits and such. So, yeah, whatever it is that we're needing to let go of, that we've identified that we need to let go of, now is the time. So, for instance, Pisces is in my 10th house. I am having to let go of a career-related thing that I have done for the last 4 years, right? Like, literally right now after all of this happens, right? So, like, it's a little silly. Like, right now, the stars are a little bit on the nose with me. But, again, Pisces is the end, but also illusion, and also letting go and blurring the boundaries, and endings are gateways into new beginnings, right? So I, again, have to keep like kind of reminding myself of this, because I don't know what I'm doing right now. But it's very Neptune dominant vibes, right? Like, just trust the process, trust falls. You and me, Sin, we just gotta, right? If we don't trust the process and do the trust fall, Neptune will still make the fall happen, right? He just might push you at this point in the game. So, what is it that I wrote? So how this pertains to my 10th house, right? Like we've talked about a little bit. I've met some folks recently. Feel like the pieces of the puzzle, but I don't know what the bigger picture is yet. I'll figure it out later, but right now I'm just gonna kind of like piece them in, right? It's a big callback to this conjunction that happened on Friday, and it's still there. You're still going to be feeling it for a while. They're still right on top of each other, right? It's not exact, but it is Neptune or Saturn is pulling ahead, but they're still together for now. I know what I need to do. You might know with whatever this is what you need to do. But with Neptune and with Pisces season, the fog is still there, and you might not be able to like completely see the bigger picture just yet. It will start clearing slowly as Saturn progresses into Aries, as things start moving out of Pisces. But like for now, we're just going to be kind of in the thick of this haze. There is a big, what I was saying earlier. There's a big let go of whatever's bad, and also learn what you're feeling and the words for those feelings, so that you know what you need to do, where we need to step when we get into Aries, right? So this is the processing time. Speaking of horses, and journey to the west, the horse is secretly a dragon, which it is. I listened to a podcast about different stories. It's called Myths and Legends, and he's been doing like pieces of Journey to the West over the years. But the thing is, I listened to that podcast to sleep, so I only ever remember about the first 5 to 10 minutes of said podcast, but I do know what you're talking about, so that's cool. So, now we have the lunar eclipse on March 3rd. This will be in Pisces, with the retrograde happening. If a solar eclipse is the door opening, the lunar eclipse is kind of the door closing. Right, it is the culmination. Eclipses just kind of do things by force and want you to respond to them, not necessarily. You're working with an eclipse season is to sit back and let things unfold and respond versus trying to make something happen. Right? So, the lunar eclipse is where is asking again, where have we been to giving? Don't be a giving tree. Close this off so that we can open up the door for this, right? So this was the door opening at the tail end of Aquarius. This is the door kind of closing, where we shed some of our tools and just keep the essentials that are Virgo related. Pisces here with the South Node here is going to help you feel and find those boundaries, find the things that you need to let go of. The full moon. There's a full moon on March 18th for the season. Full moon on March 18th. It's Luna Llena in Spanish. I've been learning. March 18th is going to be at the end of Pisces down here. This is going to be the end of eclipse season. Good to remember. Eclipse season will be ending on around the 18th. It will be the full moon at the end of Pisces. We're going to... Wait, is that? Yeah, it has to be. So we're going to learn to sit with the empty again. Trust that life can and will find you. You don't always have to go looking for it. You don't have to understand everything all at once. Again, this is very big into the trustful feelings that we've been having here, right? It's a struggle. So, that is like kind of the overarching Pisces season. This week we have, again, today is Mars sextiling Chiron. That'll be for a couple of days. It's very strong right now. We have the Venus trining with Jupiter. This is very good for like romance and creativity and feelings of abundance and things of that ilk. This is your makeup Valentine's Day window if you needed one. Monday and Tuesday are kind of quiet. We're just gonna kind of have this little trine still feeling, and we might still be feeling some of this. Some things are gonna start getting a little bit stronger, but Monday and Tuesday are fine. Lilith on Wednesday, you can already kind of see it. This is going to get this square right here is going to get a little bit tighter. This is when it's going exact, is on Wednesday. Kind of a push for our authenticity. If there's something if there's a passion that you have, is it ties with your North Node, is it ties with your Pisces or whatever it is. If there's a passion you've had that you've been kind of ridiculed for it, this will kind of make things tense until you figure out what you want to do about it, I guess. Like, say you want to be an artist, but you got told that, oh, artist or starving artist, it's better to go work at a job. I don't know. That's just you're gonna feel it, right? You're gonna feel that square. Like it's gonna be forcing you to acknowledge that you want to, like what you want to do, like an aspect of what you want to do, things that might not be quite so broadly socially accepted, right? Like if you wanted to be an artist versus going to a job for 40 hours a week or whatever, right? Like this, you're going to feel that tightness. That's Wednesday. It's a good day to kind of like sit there and think about it and try to come with a resolution. Otherwise, you're going to be feeling that pressure until you have that like epiphany. If you can break through the square, you get a pretty decent payback, like, but it's tight until you can. I would like a quiet day. I love solace and solitude. Well, we're in theoretically a pretty quiet window right now. I'd say you're pretty good from now until Thursday, as far as just sitting there and thinking. Like, eclipse season, though, is a bit of the fast forward button of the zodiac. So things may still be going, but like this just feels, versus the lunar new year, or the lunar new year versus the solar eclipse versus that big conjunction last week, this just kind of feels like a time to breathe, right? So I would say the next few days between now and Thursday, Nick, make it a point to set yourself a quiet day. Maybe that's one of the boundaries you need to work on, right? Is just sitting there and saying, no, actually, doing nothing is actually my plan. So I do have plans on, I don't know, Tuesday, right? If someone goes, do you want to go, I don't know, you want to go do something on Tuesday? No, I'm not doing anything on Tuesday. Great, then you can go. No, I have plans to not do anything on Tuesday, right? So do something like that. It's a pretty good window for that. It's a pretty good time to figure out what you need to do to articulate that kind of a feeling, that kind of a, set your boundaries. Wait, whoa. Oh no. Am I still here? Okay, I accidentally hit minimize. Good for that. Thursday, we have Mercury. Why? Mercury retrograde is on Thursday. It starts on Thursday. What is it? 26th for me. It'll be the 26th for you. I think it hits kind of early in the morning though, so for like those further into the Americas and further west, it will be Wednesday, late into the 25th. Mercury is going to retrograde. Good old Mercury RX from the 26th to March 20th. And then the end of the shadow period, which is when he finishes going through what the part of the chart that he has already gone through a couple of times. The end of that period, when he will be in fresh territory again, is April 9th. So, can't see my notes, but here we go. See, we're noting. We're doing it, I promise. So, Thursday, we start the retrograde. Mercury already is a little bit confused in Pisces. I wouldn't say that he's unhappy in Pisces, but we've talked about it a little bit, right? Like, he's confused, he's a little bit more poetic, less logical. There's not so much concrete, definitive answers. It's more of a window for, like, artsy poetry and creativity, and don't sign contracts. When we go into retrograde, it's going to be, honestly, even more of that, right? I've read that this retrograde is going to be a little more forward thinking than usual. There's a lot of nostalgia factored into Mercury retrogrades. There's a lot of things breaking down, losing things of that nature, right? But this one's going to be a little more forward thinking with Neptune and Saturn going into... He's more of a vibe in Pisces. Yeah, he feels a little like a hippie in Pisces to me. Like, man, you just gotta feel your feelings, you know? Like, fine. You just kind of gotta feel it and do an art about it or something, right? Like, you don't look for clarity when you're talking about Mercury and Pisces. You look for, like, not all feelings can be articulated, but if they are articulated, it's very abstract, less definitive, right? So like it's good for your poetry and your art and stuff. Now, we'll be a little more forward-thinking than normal with Neptune and Saturn here. I hear people don't even read them sometimes. Well, if you signed one now, you're kind of ooey. There would be some stuff in there that you didn't read that you might have wanted to. So a little more forward-thinking, though, with Neptune and Saturn over here. The nostalgia that we get throughout the retrograde will be like kind of a gateway into moving forward versus just kind of sitting there and stewing in it. This will be a big, especially with Neptune and Aries now, there will be a lot of intuition coming in as feedback from the nostalgia. Yeah, so with Neptune and Saturn both being in Aries, it's more feeling more intuition and less nostalgia. Or if it is nostalgia, there might be clues for like next steps in that nostalgia for you, right? So instead of, because everybody talks about Mercury retrograde, that's when your ex partners come back into the picture, right? So, or you're really tempted, you're thinking about them a lot, right? So like you want to text your ex. That's not, and sometimes it's a fine idea. I would argue that it's usually not, but sometimes it is a fine idea, right? Like to text the ex to like talk to them and see what's going on, right? But like for this in particular, we're talking about forward movement through the lens of nostalgia, right? So when I say that, I mean like with your next steps hidden in the nostalgia, I mean when you get the urge to text him back, as it were, right, proverbially, right? When you get that urge to text him back, think about it and go, no, maybe this is teaching me certain aspects about a person that I can, or that I do, or definitely don't need, right? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe there was something about an ex's sense of humor that you really appreciated, that you really miss, that, like something, and you're tempted to text them back, and no, that's not what this is trying to tell you, right? This is not nostalgia in the sense of I need to go back. It is nostalgia in that I need to think about this feeling and learn how I need to apply it to my future, right? So that ex has a really good sense of humor about something. Then what you want to do instead of trying to text that ex is to go, okay, well, I need somebody with a similar sense of humor, right? Maybe that ex with the good sense of humor was always late to everything and something. This is not an invitation to go back to that ex. It is an invitation to sit there and think about the things that made that ex interesting to begin with, right? So, and then like how you need to apply it. Or maybe you go, oh, well, I thought I broke up with that ex for, because he really was always late to everything. But what I really broke up with him for was that he was careless, right? And like that kind of, or careless about considering other feelings or something. I don't know. But like, it's not going back to that person. It is taking that image, that thing that you were being nostalgic about, and going, what about it do I need, and what about it don't I need? Hey Doji. Hey Elle. The world is a mirror. Humanity seeks meaning externally, not recognizing their own face. There's a contempt for the word. There's this contempt for the contemptible. Comfort and conformality is the death of desire and passion. Yeah. No, it all makes sense, and it all kind of fits right here. So, like, good job. See, look at that. You found an art that you liked. You did your homework, Nick. Look at you go. I'm so proud of you. So, nostalgia, but for the sake of moving forward, not stepping back, right? You take the nostalgia, you identify what it is that you need about it, and you take what you need to step forward. Excuse me. So like for career too, like you might go back and think about some kind of childhood dream that you used to have that you really miss, and maybe it's time to kind of revisit that and see which parts of that you need to take and move forward with, right? It is, as I said, good for recycling old ideas, but not for, wholesale reusing. So you're going to want to take that and make it into something new. So this Mercury retrograde, yes, it is a return to imagination and to what could be, but for the forward, it is not just for the sake of illusions of grandeur or back in my day or those were the golden days. You are wanting to use it to step forward. This is the first of 3 retrogrades this year. All 3 retrogrades are going to be in water signs. So we have this retrograde in Pisces, we're going to have a retrograde in Cancer, a Mercury retrograde, and we're going to have a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. There is oftentimes with Mercury retrograde a sense of like technology breaking, of communications faltering and things like that. With these being in the water signs, it feels a lot more internal than external kind of a retrograde. Like you were sitting there and really sitting with yourself and looking back and processing some deep things versus just your computer breaking down. I mean, your computer might still break down, but like overall, this is going to be more internally focused rather than things just kind of blowing up in your face. So that is the start of Thursday through the 20th, and then April 9th. Careful not to sign contracts, think before you act, just the general kind of Mercury retrograde thing. But also, like, take notes if anything feels particularly nostalgic, right? Like, and then you can think about it some and see what parts of that you want to carry. We have Mars squaring Uranus on Friday. We will be feeling it. So Mars is here. It's going to start squaring Uranus right here. You can kind of see it forming already today. It's not the thick line, but it's a thin line. You're starting to feel it. It's building up now. It goes exact on Friday. You'll be able to feel it around the day. Somebody on my notes said that if this is just the feeling of being submerged in water, if the Mercury retrograde is just kind of like getting dunked, like gently, right? And like there's nothing harsh. Like Pisces is very deliberate, right? Slow and deliberate kind of feelings versus fast go. If we have been gently submerged into water, the Mars squaring Uranus is like a lightning strike. Not necessarily in the water, but like it is just the contrast between the two feelings. There'll be a big urge to be impulsive. If you manage it correctly, like you might have an epiphany about something, like maybe all of your, I don't know, it'll just gone into retrograde, but maybe you know exactly what you need to do. It'll be a big urge to go do that thing. If you manage that impulsivity correctly, it'll be really good for like outside of the box problem solving. Maybe you don't have anything to do right away, but you might have a bit of an epiphany. Think about for these first few days, or like these couple of days before and after Fridays, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. For the second half of the week, kind of really think about like where you've been stagnant and where you have been complacent in that stagnation. Where do you know you need to step forward? But again, we're playing on that feeling of like feeling safe versus actually making progress and enjoying things, right? Where have you been like settling for feeling safe where you actually need to move forward and try something new? There's a big feeling of that. Uranus does upheaval, does table flipping, does chaos. My favorite thing a thing that my favorite astrologer says is that Uranus, yes, he does cause chaos, he does upheave things, but he will always leave you breadcrumbs about where he's about to shake things up, right? So we've got this thing, we know we might have identified something that needs to change, and then Mars is going to come in and just kind of like give that surge of adrenaline to Uranus to possibly flip that table. No, it's not necessarily just nostalgia for the sake of looking back and being like melancholy about it. It's like nostalgia for the, okay, what can I do with this now? Like I have this memory, like is this memory important to me now? Like there's going to be a lot of letting go, right? There's with that eclipse, with this transiting over, there's a lot of letting go of things in the past that don't serve you anymore. So you take the things that do seem to serve you and you figure out how they go forward, right? So it was literally like 2 or 3 days before the eclipse. I was just at rock bottom which was apparently a very common experience, but 2 or 3 days before the eclipse, I was at rock bottom, and I, like, kept crying off and on, and I just hollowed out and dissociating basically all day. And at the end of it, I ended up, like, just sitting there and writing out a list of things that people had said to me over my past that they may or may not have meant to hurt me intentionally, but, like, whatever it is, that little phrase, that one sentence that just kind of, like, ate at me for years. I just sat there and wrote them all out. And I hope that this feeling lasts, but I really feel like that was me letting them go. Right? There's these things that I had been sitting on since I was basically 5. Like, I think that was about the youngest one that I remembered, was just things that people had said to me that just sat and just ate away at me. And, like, I don't think that's, like, completely healed me or anything, but I did feel like after the fact I felt like I had let something go. Right? That kind of nostalgia. Or if it's something useful, like you remember a childhood dream, like maybe that's something that you need to step forward towards. It's not just sitting there and reminiscing about the good old days. Like you're if you remember something, you were being called to use it somehow. Especially with this Mars squaring Uranus right now. This Mars squaring Uranus right now is big into we have the nostalgia, we have thought about it, what are we going to do with it? It's not just sitting there over a pint and being like, those were the days. It's just cool, this is a thing that I am remembering, let's apply it now. There is also, right on the same day, the sun is going to conjunct the North Node here. And again, we've talked about the North Node, it's like what we're stepping towards, right? It's a bit of an unknown right now. Let me find my words. Hang on. It's a bit of an unknown right now, but, like, we have an inkling. Like, we know what direction we're going towards. Again, this is the puzzle pieces, but you can't see the picture. This Sun and North Node conjunction are just gonna kind of be, like, solidifying that. My identity is not attached to your validation. Me going down a stoic route has been the best thing. I am not my thoughts. It's a wild thing. For me, it was I am not my feelings. When I'm feeling something really gnarly and stuff, I have to go and, like, sit there and go, this too shall pass. But when you're a child and you don't know those things, people could say some really hurtful things that just kind of sit, and you just completely forget to address them because you're caught in the day-to-day adult BS that you so much that you don't have time to sit there and process the awful things that adults accidentally said to you as a child. And that really was what that was the day after. So, yeah, you have to feel like they're not going to go anywhere if you don't. This is rich coming from me. You're not supposed to let them go without feeling them. Now, with my Scorpio moon conjunct Pluto, my favorite image for how I process my emotion is the Emperor's New Groove, when Yzma's, like, putting the flea that she's turned Kuzco into a box, and then she's putting that box in another box, and mailing that box to herself to smash with a hammer. That's how I want to process my emotions. Just forget about them. Compartmentalize them and destroy them. But whatever was going on over here with the eclipse just made those feelings that I had in boxes for so long just kind of come out and made me have to, like, really sit there and go through them. So, not my normal MO, but we did it. I do feel better. We'll see where it goes. I'm still thick of a trustful and I don't like it. So we got that. We've got the Mars squaring Uranus at its peak on Friday. We have the Sun going conjunct over the North Node. And this is more illumination onto the path that we have been starting to walk towards that might be a little hazy for all of the Neptune influence. Right? Like, this is, we know we are doing the right thing, or this could be the revelation of, no, we need to put our weight somewhere else. And there might be a little bit of grief that comes with that. Surrender with meaning is what I wrote. Purposefully surrender. You've already been leaning towards something. It's time to acknowledge that you are leaning towards something if you haven't already, and with that might come that grief. Or it's time to just kind of lean a little bit harder to where you know you need to be going. You might have emotions about what you're walking away from, and that's fine. That's normal. Feel your feelings, let them go. Hypocrisy is the universe's favorite kind of humor. Nick, you should share your wisdom. People suck, though, and they don't listen. That's a mood. That's a mood. I need to go back and look at where Chiron is in your chart. Because Chiron is in my 3rd house, and writing is one of my strongest suits, and I have gotten recognized a couple of times for it, but not as often as I arguably might have been able to. Okay, so we've got the sun going conjunct North Node. On Saturday, again, like we had on Wednesday, Mercury will be conjunct Venus, but this time it's because Mercury has gone retrograde into Venus, whereas he was passing forward before. A little more nostalgia. Can't get rid of it. Sorry, Nick. We've got clarity, appreciation of beauty and harmony. Another good day to look for art. We've got like just the whole theme of the process of Pisces season has just been this. It's just you know what you're doing, but have you like felt and sat with and processed it, right? Like you know what you need to do, you know what steps you need to work towards. Like there's a difference between knowing and understanding. Do you understand the weight of it? Have you felt what you need to feel? Have you like fully like more than just articulate it? Have you like really sat and processed it, right? More just good times to sit there and feel and process all the big changes from last week. To reconcile if you need to, reconcile within yourself, reconcile with somebody that you may have had a fallout with if you need to, right? Like don't just go ask for forgiveness if they don't deserve your asking, right? But like if you need to, do that kind of a reach out. But also Mercury retrograde, so be careful. If anything, just like reconcile within yourself, right? Revisit your old ideas as they serve a purpose, not just for the sake of revisiting. So, that is our week. A lot more internal work, a lot less external work. The last few weeks have been very outwardly influency. This week just feels like kind of like really sitting and feeling things and meditating. I achieved my sword. I was using a stick. I need to pick it up. The sword from memory is one of the lesson. Yep. Exactly. So that's this week. How are we feeling? It's a bit, but it's all way more internal than it has been. It's a lot of like putting the pieces back together is what it feels like. Again, just to keep leaning on that puzzle metaphor. I cannot wait for the picture to make sense. I am struggling. And I said to everybody at the very beginning, but I don't think people were here yet. I have not finished the cat picture, but it is so close to being finished that I just don't really want to deal with it on camera. So I just kind of brought blank paper. We can have some fun. And just random draw or whatever. If anybody has any thoughts, I don't know. But yeah, that's where that is. Thoughts, words, opinions, questions. How's the week been? How did the lunar eclipse treat everybody? How is Pisces season going? Let's talk about how you've been feeling the stars. What's going on? We had the solar eclipse. We had the Lunar New Year all on Tuesday with Mardi Gras and the start of Ramadan, and the Lent started the day after. No one else here? Jill's just vibing. I know that Sin and Doji are here, but I know that they also kind of listen until they get involved into a conversation. So. Yeah. You've been going through it too, son? I'm hoping that this week will be a little bit calmer for everybody since it seems to be so much internal work. It's everybody's Gemini, it's your year, Gemini, it's your year. Yeah, that depends on like where all of the planets are in your natal chart, though, not just your rising, like how they're all interplaying with what's going on currently. So it's not perfect. And I know that your moon is in Cancer, right? There's some fairly harsh aspects going on with Cancer. Maybe not right now, but up and coming. I'm wondering if you're feeling any of that. No, like everything, it's going to be a mixed bag, and it all depends on like just the jumble of a grab bag that is someone's star chart. But resonance R's finding out people are just using my energy to cope, not even fix themselves. Yeah, we're unlearning how to be giving trees over at Casa, Lynn, and May. We're learning how to stop that mess. It's always something. Yes, it sure is. It sure is always something. But yeah, we're learning how to not be such giving trees, because you can't give if you don't have, right? And that's been something that we've been working on for honestly years, both of us. People don't join me, I can't sleep, I have family balance, acting like my moon doesn't exist. Yeah. Pop Astrology was like, all of the little pop astrologers were like, oh, it's gonna be a good time for Cancers. And then my astrologer favorite one was just like, what are you talking about? There's some really big squares happening this year to Cancer signs. Like, it's not great. Oh, I think it was the square between all of the stuff moving into Aries. Between that and the things that might be in Saturn. A little rough. Yeah, so it's a little bit. That's a little bit of a lot. Acting like my moon doesn't. Yeah. I try to figure it out because, like, I was born at night, and apparently your moon sign is supposed to be more weighted than your sun sign, and I do. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it because I'm like, there's a lot of overlap between Virgo and Gemini, so I'm like, what part would be rising sign, what part would be sun sign, and then what part does it just stop mattering, right? And it doesn't really, but yeah, they were like talking about night, the moon sign is more dominant than the sun sign. I'm like, am I that kind of a Scorpio? Like, I don't know. You win some, you lose some. Yeah. It's a big grab bag of the stars. I would just like love if I had a pretty good role, just like consistently at some point in the nearest future. But Jamie, I can't sleep. I have too much. I need to find my balance. That was your moon is in Virgo. Your sun is in Aries. And your rising. Yeah, you need to give some Nick. You need to do some kind of acts of service kind of thing, but you do need to have your boundaries set up. So the church idea wasn't a bad idea. I just think you might have gone to the wrong one. Because there are more open-minded churches out there than whatever one that was. Better to avoid the evangelical kind of stuff for that kind of stuff. But, like, there will be churches out there like, oh, you just want to do some good in this world? Great, come on. Ask all the questions you want. Crouching Pisces, hidden Aries, yeah. definitely. I don't know what I'm doing with confidence. See, yeah, I just have a core of neurotic if I'm looking at the sun sign. And then the moon is Scorpio, and it just makes me very, very emotional. And then the outside is just a goofy little guy with Gemini. But at least per all of these, I have a decent sense of humor, so that's fun. It's a little scathing sometimes, but... And like I said, I don't really know what to draw, so we're just kind of freewheeling right now. Also at a very bad angle, but I'll be able to see what I'm doing. How's this? Yeah, I guess that's fine. Are we looking up? I don't know what we're doing. We're just doodling. Just doodling. Not feeling particularly inspired this early in the morning. And I say that at 11:30. I should do better. But I don't know. I woke up groggy today. We were a little bit busy yesterday, but like not with anything bad. Just it's been a rush. So I think I'm just tired. It's an experience. This is clearly extremism I see, and it's not actually like that. Yeah, it exists. It really does exist, and it's heartbreaking when it does, but I don't know. I know you're out in the boonies, aren't you? But I don't know how the church setup is in the UK versus how it is in the US, but I grew up not evangelical, but evangelical adjacent. But the difference is that my family was like, no, we're just doing this because this is the closest church that is certifiably not insane. And we just want to give you some structure, but like if there's anything you ever feel like questioning, question it. So I didn't get quite the brainwashing that can come with sometimes. But I had a friend, no, I still have her, but like I have a friend and she grew up in the Episcopalian church and it was much, much more forward thinking. And I think if you find one of your more progressive churches, I think you might have a better time of it if you have one in your area. Sorry you had to find it though. That was... Oof. That's rough. I've had some wild experiences with people of those denominations in my upbringing, but I'm from one of their hubs, so it makes sense. I guess if we're doing weird story time, and Briar was talking, or not Briar, Miss May was talking about the cult. Growing up, I went to a Southern Baptist private school for like a year, and this was in the late 90s, I think. It might have been 2000. I was in a Southern Baptist private school for just that year because the schools, like the public schools around where I grew up, aren't very well funded. So I hopped a lot for school. But I was at that school, and this is the deep south in the US, right? So like it is and isn't what people make it out to be. Like I have a bit of a mixed feeling kind of thing. Like it's like I'm an elder sibling and the South is my younger sibling, right? Like, so I can make fun of it, but nobody else can unless you know what you're talking about. Right? Like, you have to be able to acknowledge the good without just ripping the bad. But I grew up, I went to that church, or not that church, I went to that school for a year. And the lady who was running it must have been at least in her 80s, the principal. And she was so old-fashioned that she actively discriminated against me because my mother had me out of wedlock. Like, I was born illegitimate, and so she took her frustration out on about my mother towards me. And so we had a talent show. We had a talent show, and apparently I won it, but I was not allowed to have my prize. It was insane. And her reasoning was because the song was too secular. But it was Celine Dion, so like, yeah, it was secular, but it was the most benign thing. And this was also when Britney Spears was making the big scene. And I had some friends do Oops, I Did It Again or something, Hit Me Baby. One of the ones off of her album. And they got third prize, and they got their prize. It's fine. I let that place go as part of my thing, but it's just kind of funny to me. Just like, wow. And that is not my only run-in with evangelicals. That is just one. So I don't much care for them. I remember my Hindu friend saying Sikhism is Hinduism, and I saw base feeding everyone because it's times high bar, apparently. Yeah, it can be. But like I said, not all Christian denominations are completely lost. There are some that try to do the right thing. And there are some that seem fairly open to people who are questioning. Hell yeah. What's the hell yeah? People use any illegitimate kids unite. What's up? I had someone a few years ago who was mad, so I am queer. I had someone a few years ago who like really liked me and was also pretty conservative and was like, well, they're a good person. It's a shame that they're going to hell. And I looked at whoever was telling me the story and I go, oh, is it because I'm illegitimate? Not because I was queer. I was just like, well, I was already doomed per your logic, except the narrative has shifted so much that that is not your logic anymore, and you would be confused if I told you that, and that's because you don't know history, and it was very funny. Bastards, some may say. Another funny story about me, if we're talking about bastards, is that I don't know much about my genealogy. A lot of it gets kind of scrambled in the US and stuff, especially if you come from poor areas of the country. But I was able to find the genealogy for one of my family lines, and it went up into Britain. And then, I don't know if you know Game of Thrones, but if I go far back enough, I think it's like 7 or 8 generations, one of my family lines' last name was Snow. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? Like, I could have had the last name of Snow and been a bastard child. That is insane. And then, like, I would have hated that as a child, but as an adult now with that joke, I don't even really care for Game of Thrones one way or the other. I just thought that was incredibly funny. Yes, but why? I'm seeing Sun trying to think face. Yeah. I usually just am like, yeah, it's fine. I don't know. No one really calls me a bastard, but I feel like I would just play up into the, yeah, I don't know my father, what about it? Kind of thing. Which I do know him, but like not great. He's not my cup of tea. I'm too jealous to comment right now. It's fine. We can, you know the word for snow in Polish. We'll just, I'm not changing my name again, but we can go back and change our names and you can be Polish Snow. It's too much work to change my name. My nose is over too far. But my mom apparently went to a Presbyterian church with my great-grandma and while she was pregnant, and the side eye she got was incredible, she said. So that was a recent thing, but now if I go, oh, am I going to hell because I'm illegitimate? Everybody gets so confused, and I'm like, well, 20, 30 years ago, that was a thing. Sin and Lynn both. Let's go. So I don't know how things... I don't know how things were for you growing up with stuff, because I know that Catholicism is big in Poland, right? But, like, I don't know, just growing up where I did, when illegitimacy was, like, still a thing to an older person, but not to the younger people. I don't know, it was wild. Wild time. I know, when I bring it up, everybody gets so confused. It's like, why would that ever be an issue? And it's like, well, Pepperidge Farm remembers. The narrative has shifted. Well, you still don't like me for other reasons now, I suppose, but, like, before, it was for things that were still completely... It has been for things outside of my control this whole time. I'm not quite sure what to do about it. People moved on. Yeah. Most of, like I said, when I was younger, like, most of the adults at the time and younger also moved on, and they don't even really realize it's an issue anymore. But, like, it was like the older people, like, who would have been my great-grandparents or something, that were like, ugh, illegitimate. And so it's like I just got the tail end taste of it. I'm coming to realize history is just anime. Some guys can just tell they're taking a city. A guy went to World War I with just a sword with the highest kill count, and a medic that refused to kill was the best. I mean, like, yeah, Hannibal crossing the Alps on elephants. Like, there's some moments. There's some moments where you're like, man, life isn't a movie, but sometimes it is. Sometimes it's insane. My family Catholic school, yes, they simply wrote like a proof they didn't like me. Why do I need the time? Yeah. I did 2 years of Catholic school, so I got, like, a little bit of that. But at that point, again, like I said, they were, like, transitioning out of it being such a big deal, even at the school, right? They were just like, I don't know, just do the rosary, I guess. I don't know. And I felt weird because I was raised the really conservative Lutheran. There's some synods that are a lot more cool about things, but I was raised in the bad Lutheranism. And at that point, I still, like, believed in things. They were like, pray the rosary, and I was like, I do. Mary's chill, but I don't know how I feel about this. Oh, I don't care, but oh, cute kid. That's really it. Like, that's such a big thing. Babies just yeah, it is what it is. That was always, like, the factor, right? Like, I feel like I missed a lot of the prejudice that my mom had to go through for just being a cute little kid for older people to coo at. Which, like, I'll take it, right? Like, that's fine. Maybe it helped them realize it wasn't such a big deal. I can hope, at least. I was the same way with one of my cousins is mixed. And again, I'm from the deep south. You can imagine some of the opinions that the older people in my family had. And one of my cousins is mixed and came to the family reunion, and boy howdy, you sure couldn't tell they had those opinions because they loved that little cute kid so much. And I really hope that it, like, helps them realize, right? I hope it helps them learn to be a little more tolerant. Or at least not blame the kid for the thing, right? Like, it's not. But anyway. And honestly, after I got to know my father a little bit, bye. Whatever. Well, after the fact, though, that was just a few years ago. Had a lot to work through, but he sure hit the fast forward on getting through all that. No, I got manufactured division is all egotistical. My values are better. My God, could be like yours. But see, the thing is, it's coming from the top down into the masses, and they're using that as leverage to keep the masses attacking each other instead of looking up. Right, if we're just talking about it from that kind of a sense, right? Like, the Pope wanted to stay in power, kings wanted to stay in power. The big leaders of the evangelical communities want to stay in power, so they're just gonna, like, make people push down or to the side instead of realizing, looking up, going, oh, I just paid for you to have a $200,000 car with my with my tithe money, and you know, like, I do believe that there is some good in a lot of these religions, but like just the ones where they are blatantly corrupt like that, right? Like, it's hard. It is extremely manufactured division. And it really hurts when you, like, I don't know, I went back to my old church after I was grown, and I flew the coop, that's the term. And it was so familiar, but I could just see all of the signs and stuff that I had missed when I was little. And just, like, I adored my pastor, and then it was just really weird to, like, have him not know quite what to do with me. Versus, like, being old friends kind of a thing. It's like, yeah, I did dye my hair a funny color, but I was giving you all of the signs before when I was little, and I am in a happy relationship and we are good. Like, it's still the me I've always been. Yeah. No, I mean, I agree, like, just hierarchy is, in fact, just people fabricating it, right? More of your fabricated structure. But hyperdash, the M dash. Yeah, that's fine. You could have used an M dash there, you could have used a colon. Like, it's fine. I wouldn't use a semicolon there because it is not a. Semicolons are connecting two complete clauses together, and nothing to forgive is not its own sentence. But a colon or an M dash, yeah, you did fine. We are just doodling. I'm just doodling. I'll see about trying to figure out another piece of art next Sunday. My bandwidth should be a lot more breathable, so we'll see. So, what have we got going on next week? Is there anything fun? Anybody got any good plans? Let's talk about it. have we looked for art? I haven't looked for art yet. I'm not even doing my own homework. Dang. Well, no. That was before everything happened. I watched Sinners recently, and it was a lot to chew on, and I have very big feelings about it, but the messaging behind it was incredible. And it was especially poignant since I grew up an hour and a half away from where that movie is supposed to take place. So it opened up and said, Clarksdale, Mississippi, and I went, yep, I've been there. I saw the tools to bluff being an AI. You should use this skill never. I love dashes and also the sparkle emoji, but I'm hopeful that my writing doesn't sound like AI. We'll get there. I've been feeling things lately, so. But I have seen that you've been posting and I've been looking at it. I know a handful of the bands you've been posting. Muse was an easy one, I know. I know Winged Angel and such. Things of that ilk. What I really want to do at some point on the Discord is like turn on Jackbox and have everybody come play. I think that would be fun. Would y'all come play like Jackbox games with us? Play Quiplash. The one that I've been playing with my friends around here has been like TKO. Oh, that's fine, son. Yeah. No, that's fine, son. Life gets in the way. Life do be lifing, and that is the whole theme of like 2026 as a whole, is just life be lifing. That's kind of where we're at right now. And I think ultimately it's going to work out for the better, but there's going to be a lot of teeth pulling and grieving in the meantime while we work up to it. I mean, it depends on, well, not depends, like, I'm sure you bring fine music, but also, like, what is Sin's favorite genre? Like, what are her favorite genres? Like, what do we like? Let's play with that space. What's everyone's favorite genre of music? Let's talk about it. That's a good one. That's a good one, then. Let's go with it. Let's talk about music. Tell me your favorite band. And if I don't know them, send me your favorite song by them. Or send me your least favorite song to like set the bar on the floor, and then I can go back and listen to other things. We live in a Spanish-speaking country right now, and Miss May was very scared that she would not hear English-speaking music on the radio, or without it being of her own volition, once we moved from the U.S. to somewhere else. And literally, we walked into the grocery store. We had been in the country for like maybe 2 or 3 days. We walked into the grocery store and U2 was playing. I was like, look at that. Another thing they do here, though, is like, I'm fairly sure unlicensed bossa nova remakes of weird songs that you don't expect. Apparently some guy made a bossa nova version of I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry. Calafina, good choice. Good choice. Doing the finishing touches on everything, cleaning and stuff. You're fine, Doji. I'm happy to just be background noise. You can give me any of your thoughts later on Discord or WhatsApp or something. Good song genres are just labels, but if I had to, like, yeah, I mean, like, I would agree with you, Nick. Like, just like we were literally in our Spanish class talking about like what kind of genres of music we like and stuff, and I was like, I literally just like everything. There's going to be something in every genre, because she asked me specifically, like, is there just any specific genre you can't stand? I'm like, no, there's going to be something in everything. Like, I might not generally like it, but like, there's going to be something. But like, what I call it is like a home base, right? Like your home base of music. So I would say like my home base is like the grunge, alt-rock, new metal stuff, and then also like goth synthwave kind of stuff. But I also will just like put on jazz or Lorena McKennitt or I don't know, anything else too, right? Like it doesn't really matter to me. I can't find I have a favorite band because I find them all inconsistent. Do you have a favorite album? That might be fun. Because, like, yeah, bands do kind of, like, do their own thing. I like it when they do a lot of really big shifts, though. One of my favorite bands is an old Japanese band called Buck-Tick. The original lead singer passed away a couple of years ago, and I did cry. But they've been around since the 80s. And they had a lot of genre switches and experimental pieces and stuff. My favorite one was their dark circus kind of themed album. What's up? What's your favorite album? Mario, we're asking Miss May the hard question.
My first instinct is to say Hot Fuzz.
I mean, that probably is. That probably is your favorite album.
Really good album.
It's a fine album. Miss May says Hot Fuzz by The Killer is her favorite album, which it has a whole story in there, so it's very fun. The Black Parade, Suffer and the Witness. Yeah, that sounds like you, Nick, yes. The first favorite album is hard, but the first, like, 2 albums that, like, really did something to me were Hybrid Theory and Fallen by Linkin Park and Evanescence. Those were, like, the first 2, like, albums of my... Those were the albums that got me off of my grandfather's oldies. Like, I grew up with my grandparents, too. And for a very long time, I only listened to the oldie station, and I had no idea what my friends were talking about when they were talking about pop music. But Hybrid Theory and Fallen were what, like, pulled me out of that and, like, got me to listen to music of my own time. I still have a very soft spot for oldies. Miss May always gets very confused with my personality when I put on, like, 70s soft rock, but, you know, it's fine. Favorite album?
I mean, it's easy to discuss just good albums.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors
is an excellent album. But, like, that is, like, a universally acclaimed album, not just this is my opinion, right?
There's such thing as an objectively good album. It's Rumors.
Yes. But, like, we're not talking just about objectively good albums. We're talking about albums that we like.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll go to my liked songs on Spotify. Let's just do it this way. Hang on. Can I sort it by album? Yes, I can.
Songs from the Big Chair. That's another, like, basically
Songs from
objectively good album.
Yes. But September all by those edgy teenage years, ain't that the truth? I still have Linkin Park's Meteora and Hybrid Theory and also Fallen, like, memorized front to back, and I am garbage at memorizing song lyrics. Um. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, you know what? I guess if we're going hard, Mesmerized by System of a Down. Also, 10,000 Days by Tool. Your ADHD will not sit through an album. That's fair. I get it. But sometimes it just hits. Sometimes the whole album just hits. Front to back bangers. Um, favorite. I like Bucktick a lot. I like John Baptiste. He's a jazz musician from New Orleans.
Objectively good album.
Violator is objectively a good album. I am of the minority opinion that Personal Jesus is one of the weaker songs on that album.
Yeah.
But I can't help it. That album also has Enjoy the Silence and World in My Eyes on it, and those two songs just send me. The music video for Enjoy the Silence is very funny, though. I do not understand why they decided to go that route, but, you know, because, like, it's such a... I don't know. But yeah, I'll figure out something to do. But those are just very... If I went and I shared anything, it would be something that would be a little more obscure. If I said... If I just dropped frickin' Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode, everybody's gonna be like, yeah, I know that song. I want to drop, like, something that people might not recognize. Right?
"604" by Ladytron.
604 by Ladytron. Sure, that's fine. What is in my... I have... What I might do... I have a playlist on... I have a playlist on my Spotify that is just... No, I call it No Rules, Just Right. And it is just my favorite songs without any, like, genre inhibition or anything like that. Ooh, which live version? You should send that to me, son. We saw them when they came through the US on their last tour. Their most recent tour that I'm aware of. Right after Andy died. And it was very good, even though they were older. Sometimes with the older folks doing their concerts, you're like, well, I just paid a lot of money to see a 60-year-old just kind of exist. But they did a good job.
No, you have a favorite song.
Do I have a favorite song?
Mm-hmm.
What's my favorite song?
Funky Worm. Got it.
I don't know. I don't know if we want to.
You don't think Funky Worm's your favorite song?
I think Ultra Numb by Blue Stally is my favorite song.
That's true. You're not wrong.
Let me see. Yeah, so I can just post this playlist if folks are that interested. It's just songs that I have added. I'm adding up to 100, and it's just favorite songs that I love a lot. I'm up to 92, but it is a 6.5 hour playlist, so I don't know. Live at O2 Berlin, Germany. Okay, yeah, I'll look it up. Yeah, Ultra Numb by Blue Stally is definitely my favorite song, like if I had to pick one. Also, it's extremely exciting if I have just met somebody that knows Blue Stally without me having to introduce them. It's happened once or twice before, but it's so infrequent. I love that man. I love everything he does. His instrumental pieces are a little bit harder for me to hold my attention for, but anytime he does like a album with lyrics on it, I am instantly hooked every single time. Also, that music video, I love just the contrast between the seriousness of the topic of the song and how his just straight up goofiness shines through it still, even around like just the like angst of the song. But yeah, I discovered him in 2015, I think. Don't know the artist, just that one song. He's a big goofball. That whole album is pretty good. Ultra Numb and Anti You are like the big ones off of that album. That was 2009 or 10 or something. I don't know. But that album's pretty good. And then a couple of years ago, he released a trilogy that is also extremely good. I recommend it. Again, he does a lot of like instrumental pieces. And I'm not as hooked onto those. He does a lot of like video game music for like the higher octane games. I'm not as hooked on those, but I like his lyric albums. But yeah, this my favorite song playlist has stuff like Ultra Numb, but then it also has uh, 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton, and then Oblivious by Calafina, and I'm a little bit all over the place. Favorite 5 songs at the moment. At the moment, that's hard. I haven't really had anything on loop for a while. I know we've been having a lot going on right now. I have been listening to like new releases by people. I know that Pussifer just dropped a new album, so I listened to that. But then my aunt gave me Shabuzi, the country R&B artist out of Virginia. He's really good. Favorite songs in the world are Ultra Numb and No One Loves Me, and neither do I. That's what they are. I just looked over at my No Rules like playlist and I went, oh right, that song. But yeah, I don't know what she's doing with her arms. I could be making her do something, but I'm just kind of doodling. I'll try to find something more interesting to do art-wise later. So for now, her skirt just gets to have pockets. Do I have anything interesting worth throwing in here? I don't expect so, but like maybe. Oh. Yes. As you should, and I would expect you to, Doji. My favorite album is 13 Kaiwa Keko, which is like their goth circus based album. Buddy Pet the Kitty. But she'd have to get up off of the couch to figure out. Oh, Nick told you to pet me. The head pats, I think, but it's fine.
I didn't turn the bot on.
I didn't turn the bot on. Well, no one's tipped me $1 anyway, so. But I'm just kind of hanging out today. I'll have it more organized later. Yeah, Bucktick kept going after Sakurai died, and I'm like, I'm proud of them, but also it's just sad. I don't know. Like, I can imagine he'd want them to keep going, but I couldn't. I tried listening to it, and I was proud of them, and then I had to like move on. but they were such an integral part of like my childhood. They were like my favorite band from like, without exception, from like 13 to 20 something. So it was just, it's hard. One of those, like, I call them like pillars of your youth, basically, because you have your favorites, but then you have like the integral pieces of your childhood, basically, right? Like, these are the pillars that made you, and some things may be for better or for worse, right? But it's definitely, Bucktick is definitely like a pillar of my entire personality. This angle is horrible, and I'm not feeling particularly inspired. That's okay. What's anything good this week? We doing anything? I'm not sure that we're doing much. I think we're back to normal on schedule. I don't know much after that. Rise Against Taste Changes as you age. Only like a couple song entertainment from Heads and Rights. Yeah. I liked Rise Against a lot too when I was in my early 20s, I think. And they're fine still. But yeah, on the whole, I like a lot fewer songs of theirs than I used to. I had a big Shine Down phase around that time too that I'm not really feeling anymore. Definitely not feeling that one anymore. And like, I'm happy I had it, but yeah. You're very busy this week doing nothing. Perfect. That's what I want to hear. You have nothing planned? Like, actually planned? That's great. I swear I'm actually good at this, though. Like, I've put my Instagram up. Y'all know. I'm just kind of freewheeling. In here, I have this fella just hanging out. This is just like me doodling, though. This isn't anything completed. It's just, I don't know. But I promise it's not just bleh. Real good content. Feeling it.
Not every drawing is beautiful.
Maybe every drawing should be beautiful. I don't remember what we've got going on this week. Hang on. Oh. I found the journal. I found the. I'm not putting you on blast. I'm looking over this way. Oh, okay. So a little bit quiet at the start. For me, you're busy. And then on Thursday, we're going to a local carnival kind of celebration that keeps going. Schedule like 3 appointments. Oh man, that's rough. My first favorite musician, my very first favorite musician was Celine Dion, and my first favorite band was the Beatles. And now they're both fine. This was like when I was itty bitty though. Like, this was like I was like 6 or 7. On Thursday, we're going to a Murga, which is like a carnival kind of celebration. I know that's as in it's over. As in, what is this? Sound of Madness. You'll probably know that song. You'll probably know Sound of Madness. Nice. Sure, we'll go with it. It's really weird to hear kids down here who speak probably exclusively Spanish go 6-7, but like in English. But yeah, on Thursday we've got sure. Morgo, which is like the local carnival kind of celebration. It's a performance. Satire, political satire, usually about the history that's been. And then we've got dinner with somebody on Friday. But that's really about it for me. I've got to wrap up that little 4-year thing of mine that I'm just gonna try to ignore. But yeah, so well, fish season though. Hey, my fish son, what are your birthday plans? You have anything? My birthday. Just thinking, just get me listening to random songs. Man, and God, those were the days. That's how I discovered. No, that wasn't how I discovered Bucktick. I discovered Bucktick for Trinity Blood. But that was how I discovered Nightwish, and I loved Nightwish when I was younger. That was the favorite band that I had after. In tandem with Bucktick, I think. Actually. And now I don't really like too much of their stuff anymore, but Romanticide still goes off. That whole album's pretty good, Dark Chest of Wonders. There's some stuff that I'm like, no, but it's probably the one album that I still like, mostly like back to back. London Trip. Oh, yeah. Where's my fish? Yeah, sends the fish. Maybe it's good. I don't have to find anything. I mean, you can find like something special in London that you want to do. I would say that would be fun. On your birthday. You said you were going to some museums and stuff, right? You'll have to send pictures and stuff. I'm excited to see how it goes. I just want to kiss my fish. Not 2 tunes. Yeah. Don't overwhelm the recommendations list, I know. I know Miss May doesn't want it to get like too crazy in there, but yeah, again's fine. But yeah, just for some insight onto the type of year that I had last year in like music world is like Spotify decided to give you you're this old based on your taste in music, and I think it like pegged me as like 63. It's like, no, I'm not. Actually, this is kind of incorrect, my friend. You can keep thinking about that. I don't want you to have that information on me, but nope. Certainly not 63. Hey, no. Don't make things uncomfortable, dude. But we talked about Europe last week. One day I'll get to go. Fish. That kind of birthday. There you go. No. I was just thinking a museum. or a special historical cafe or something. Something with some weight on it. I like the places where the old and the new kind of intermingle. I was doing like YouTube walkthroughs of different places in Italy, and they were in Rome, and just pointing out how the city has been built around the old pillars and stuff, and I was just like vibrating. And then for Carnival, we were watching walkthroughs in Venice, and it was like noting that the skyline hasn't changed in the last 500 years or something in some areas. I'm just, that sounds gorgeous. So you'll have to give us museum live tweet updates as you have time. Would love to hear how it goes. Man. Yeah, so. Fish. Usually another fish, but crab. Where are their eyes? Like right here? Are they right here? Or are they over on the sides? I don't remember. Crab. And this, we can call the stream dull because I'm Mercury dominant and Mercury's about to go in retrograde. Haha. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm talking about feelings and running out of other things to say. And now we're drawing crabs. I've ever seen the music video for Crab Rave. It's excellent. I'm just crabs dancing on the beach. Love it. 10 out of 10, no notes. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like at 18 you're like doing your best. I'm an adult, but am I? Crab. Crab. Sure, we'll call this a crab, that's fine. I remember when I'm having a nice time. Well, that's nice. I'm glad. I just noticed that some of my streams tend to be, oh, excuse me, more engaging than others. But like, if this just becomes like my hangout hours for my friends in Europe, that's fine. I'll take it. Crab. Is that a crab? May as well be. We're gonna go with it. Libra scales. Which is why US pounds are still noted as LB. It's for Libra. If you knew all that already, don't worry about it. Libra. All the tiles are something I was not used to share, but they are fun. Yeah. Yeah. You seem like the all over the place kind of person too, Doji. So here's the trick for those of you with cats. If you want them to get into their carrier comfortably, have it out so they can start taking naps in it. There's your pro tip from me to you. As I look over and my cat is sleeping in his carrier. My beloved. I can look it up, yeah. Sure, yeah. Let's go. Favorite music is old folk music from like 1960s. Yeah. I had a stint with Russian folk music before Russia really went off the deep end with Putin. That folk music, and then, I mean, I'm from like old blues and folk kind of area, so I get a lot of that too. I know a lot of weird old Americana songs that people don't expect me to know. So. Yeah, I'll definitely look at it. Polish rock band. Very interesting. I would be delighted to have a Polish rock band in my recently played. Baby metal, karate is my vibe. I don't know the lyrics, but I like the mouth sounds. Miss May loves baby metal. So you're in good company. I find them entertaining, but I am not particularly invested in one way or the other. I do know a handful of the mouth sounds, though, as I am conversational in Japanese. I am not fluent by any stretch, but I can get the gist. Lion. Leo. Drew a picture of my cat recently that looked very lionish. I think it's over there somewhere, but I have to go get it. Bandmade Fate. I don't know if I know that one. Listen to metal when I have something to do. Great for focus. Yeah, it is. It's that stimulate, like that low grade. Well, not low grade. It's metal, right? It's that stimulation to like give your brain something to chew on while you're doing something tedious. Oh, excuse me. I had a big. I've always liked rock and alt and stuff, but I really got into metal after my first ex-girlfriend dumped me. So, and Miss May always likes to laugh because the stuff that she listens to, or at least at the time, used to be like lo-fi kind of electronic-y vibes, and a lot of them were like just kind of like the lyrics were abstract, and some of them tended to be a little bit kind of deranged. And then you expect all of that from my metal music, and she would always just compare it and be like, so my music, which is the softer, more feminine sounding stuff, is like soft dismemberment, whereas you have your loud music and it is like, you hurt my feelings, as the lyrics. And I've always just thought about that, and it was very funny. But I know that Maynard wrote 10,000 Days, the song, for his mother after she passed. And now I do love that song still, but it reminds me of my grandmother, and that one I have to be careful with. Trying to think of other metal stuff. I don't know. But I got into that, yeah, right around that time. Before that, I grew up with like the grunge and the alt rock and stuff like that, so that's what I consider like my home base. But I'll do a little bit of everything. Anyway. It's not quite our full time, but if we're running on topics that we can just talk about on the side, that we can probably start wrapping up here. I'm around, as always, for questions. I will write up my notes for the week and post them in Discord, like I always do. Hang in there. Maybe once the retrograde starts rolling, I'll be able to get my head back on straight, and I can just stop being confused and tired. Week looks good, though, for processing. Not so much big stuff happening around it. God, I hope. Thoughts and words only have as much meaning as you describe them. Music, it's yes. But I'm gonna dip. Y'all can holler at me if you need to. You know where to find me. If you have a whole bunch of tunes you want to send over YouTube or something, just send them. You can just send them to me personally, I guess, or make a playlist, I guess, and then send it to the chat. But I'm around if you need me. I'll get those notes up today or tomorrow, depending. Only thing playing in the car. Yeah, Miss May's got a story about Everclear and REM that you'll have to ask her about. So, all if you need me, I'll get those notes up. I will be around, and I will cut it here and talk to you all later. But yeah, so all right, ciao.